Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got the patch notes for Season 3 reloaded. I'm just going to be going over the Warzone patch notes because that's where I've been playing. I've not been having a lot of fun with multiplayer. I did the 100%er challenges. I'm over it at this point. You have the High Art and Blaze of Glory. So that's the Seth Rogen events that we have going on till May 15th. The train station is coming back. We talked about that in the intel drop. So the train's going to be moving around the map, and we are finally getting vertical ascenders back, matching the placement in the original Season 5 and current Plunder layout. So I didn't know that they were in Plunder. I haven't been playing Plunder. We're getting High Trip Resurgence as a limited time mode, which is going to be similar to that High Trip Resurgence that we had on Rebirth before. So that'll be interesting. Massive Resurgence is going to be really interesting as well, where it's 120 player Resurgence. I have a feeling that's going to have some crazy end games. Here's what the playlists are going to look like through May 15th. Quads and Plunder, High Trip Resurgence. Resurgence is getting solos, duos, trios, and quads, so that's nice. And of course, we're getting ranked play, which is what I'm the most excited about, getting ranked play. So new SR values, since there are 150 people, so they upped the SR cap per match to 200, which will definitely help in those higher levels there. If you're iridescent or top 250, that's definitely going to help you out. 50 teams in a match, so of course they had to kind of restructure the placement SR points. So they're going to mirror the bandolier and ammo satchel being disabled. And they're going to change, looks like they're changing some of the perks, so alertness is no longer restricted. And then as an additional call out, they added the trophy system to the buy station to allow for safer vehicle rotations, because they're going to allow the launchers back into rank play. Of course, you have to have rank play unlocked by having 20 matches in top placement. It is trios, no Modern Warfare weapons, and no blade launcher, which is nice. I've been wreaking havoc with the Joker, so I really don't see people using a lot of launchers, even though they're going to come into play. Being that the HE is, that doesn't lock on. I think the Sigma locks on, but I just don't see that, really being that big of an issue with launchers coming into play. They might be ground loot, pick it up in a pinch or whatever. No thermal optics, no drill charge, no launchers, no CHF barrels, no rapid fire, no dragon's breath, and you're not going to be able to use the mini rocket conversion kit. I'm pretty sure that mirrors how it was in Season 2. No bird's eye, no specialist, no bandolier, no ammo satchel. You can't use the cargo truck, so no Bertha. That's kind of nice. But I mean, that you have a teammate open in the bed of the truck, so I mean, whatever. And they're restricting big game bounties. These miscellaneous restrictions are big here. So no one-shot headshots with the HDR. That's going to be kind of nice. You're not going to have as much as that camping. I mean, 2 shots. A well-coordinated team will still be able to one-shot you if they pull the trigger, quick enough and close enough together. You cannot shoot during free fall, which is huge. Train recon contract, whatever. No prox chat and no text to chat. No emotes is huge. These are huge. The high value loot zones, that's something that they're getting ready to add. So I mean, that's not a big deal. Gulag rocks, I agree with. And then live pings. Live pings weren't there anyways. But the text chat, the prox chat, and the emotes is huge, because you have that pay to win emote with the hide in the box. Text chat was kind of fun, just seeing people talking in chat. And prox chat gives away people being close to you, so you can definitely freely talk to your teammates and not have to worry about what you're saying. That's huge, and people aren't going to hear you. So there's no more like, oh, I hear somebody on prox chat, let me hide in a building. That's going to be huge. You do have alertness now, to kind of counteract not having prox chat and knowing somebody's close. But I mean, I still don't feel like that's that crazy of a deal. And the starting circle is going to be more centered enabling more play space on drop, and extreme circle ends can still occur. I kind of like that because half of the map being out of circle, first circle, is kind of crappy. And then, of course, the trophy systems. Um, Everybody is going to start in bronze this season, no matter where you were. Kind of sucks, but I get it. New map, it is what it is. Kind of hate that because I, grinded up to platinum at the end of season 2 to get ready for this. But it'll be fun to kind of re-go through the ranks there. And then back at season 4, you'll go back to the old start where you just drop to the beginning of your tier. Unless you're, Crimson, Iridescent, or top 250, you'll drop down to Diamond 1. So that'll be kind of nice. No real big changes. Top 40, you don't get any placement SR. But you do get 4 bonus SR per elimination. And then, of course, you start getting SR once you start placing top 30 or better. With the first place being 100, of course. I definitely like the elimination rank deltas that they introduced. I definitely like that, where you get rewarded for killing a player higher skill level than you, and you kind of get penalized for killing somebody that is worse than you. I like it. It helps you and your friends if they can't play as often as you, get stay kind of competitive. Of course, this is the redeployment fees for starting the match. Doesn't look like any real big changes there. You don't pay until silver, and then it's increments of 5. Great rewards, it looks like, especially with the graffiti like logos and stuff. That's cool. It looks like that's a camo, a graffiti camo. It'd been cool to have graffiti camos to go with each tier. And then, of course, career rewards, ranked operator skins, ranked rewards, for getting wins and stuff. They updated the ground loot to kind of give you more of the competitive stuff instead of the the attachments that just don't go well together. And then the high value loot zones, those are not going to be in ranked, but each season will have 3 areas that have higher value loot. So that'll be kind of nice. Movement speed while plating has been addressed to be more equal across the board based on what weapon you have out, and not based on whether you're plating with both hands or one or whatever. The drill charge radius explosion was increased. I don't use those, so cool, whatever. C4, you got a damage increase and a radius increase there, cool. The inner explosion damage on the spring mines got reduced, and of course if you crouch or go prone, you still negate some of that damage. And the blast trap detonation delay was increased. I kind of like that because you didn't have a lot of time to react to a blast trap. And then they reduced the speed increase from stimming from 15 to 8. So they kind of cut that in half, it looks like. And the experimental gas no longer does take damage. I don't think anybody uses experimental gas anyways, unless it's just all they have. Big game bounties are back, higher risk, high reward. So you put you after a higher performance squad. Supply run. Squad mates who are dead at the time of a supply run is completed will now also receive the fire sale reward. So that's nice. If you're able to land back, you can hit the fire sale. I kind of like that. Sentry guns. Didn't really see a lot of those, but they were increased their damage range. That's pretty cool. Bunker busters. I guess you still had those on Rebirth. The inner damage was reduced on those, and removed damage from gas. I don't know if I agree with that, but that is what that is. An audible call out for UAV has been tightened up with the user interface indicator for the red box around the mini map. So let's see, if nearby, regardless of whether they were inside the detection. Okay, so now it only triggers if you are in the UAV coverage area when it's activated. So that's kind of nice. And then if you enter afterwards, a red. I like that. Perk adjustment. If you use low profile, got a movement increase, bomb squad. They damage reduction was increased to 30%. Health regen from survivor delay was increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. That's a perk I use. I don't really use reactive armor, but the regen speed increased by 50%. That's probably nice. That might be worth giving another shot. And they refined thinner lines on tracker to help with visual clarity. That's going to be nice as well. Of course, you got new weapons. The Goblin making rocket conversion kit, which I think will be a lot of fun. The weapons we have here, so they adjusted the AK. They reduced the modifiers, so the AK might not be as much of the meta now. They increased the reload speed for the Kilo and the AMAX. Doesn't really help or hurt anything. I don't use my armor for 2 guns. I'm not going over that. If you want to pause and read that, you can. The 10mm attachment for the C9 got a vertical recoil penalty reduced. That'd be kind of nice. And the time it takes you to put the SOG up was decreased, so that'll be kind of nice. Again, we don't use the Modern Warfare weapons. Plus, we're going to be playing ranked play. That doesn't matter to us. Rapid fire improvement for the ASG. You get a damage bonus for the Marine SP, which is nice because I do pick that up off the ground sometimes. And I wonder why I don't get breaks. So that'll be kind of nice. LMG adjustments. Mainly looks like it has to do with fast mag. And they reduced the belt fed max ammo from 500 to 210. That's probably actually for the better. Marksman rifles. Non-bolt action marksman rifles will now use AR ammo instead of sniper ammo. Didn't realize that was a thing. So I guess that's good. The AK gets a buff. The DM10 gets a buff. They all pretty much get a buff. The SWAT got a buff. I'm thinking that's base SWAT, not Growl conversion kit that gets a buff. But we'll see. Because I know in multiplayer, they nerfed the Growl conversion kit a little bit. And then you get a little bit of a nerf on the TR2. No, the Zarkov gets a buff. ADS speed was slowed for the HDR. That's about all that needs. I feel like there's nothing wrong with the HDR. A lot of people are complaining because of the one-shot headshot, but I mean, the sniping's finally back, so that's nice. And the drop time for the Cali sticks was improved. I feel like this should not be a 4-hit in Warzone. 3 maybe would be better. But I mean, Cali sticks are still fun. Of course, they changed the gulag loadouts. I don't really feel like there was much wrong with that. Base loadout adjustments. That I don't think anybody uses base loadouts. This is something huge that I like. The operators. You can favorite operators, and you can have the game pick you a random operator or a random skin for an operator. So I do like that I can favorite operators and then have it randomly pick the operator for me. I know the people with the pay-to-win operators aren't really going to care. They're going to use their Terminator skin regardless. But I like this because there are some skins that I like to, switch between. So I like that. You get a loadout marker icon whenever your team has the money for a loadout. I like this. Especially if you play with a lot of randoms. I like this. Damage closes the buy station menu. If you're into that kind of thing, cool. That is not for me. I would do not mind getting shot while I'm trying to hurry up and buy a teammate back at the buy station. I do not want to close the menu. Depending on how much damage you have to take, but I mean, it says immediately when you receive incoming damage, so I don't know. It'd be nice if it kind of closed it a little quicker, but that's going to be kind of funny to play with. In the kill feed duration settings, you can pick how long something stays on the kill feed. Cool, I guess. Doesn't matter for me. Attachment filter for Modern Warfare 3 weapons. The death recap widget now tells you if you were affected by heartbeat, body shield, or resurgence marker because your teammate died, a proxy alarm, or the most wanted target indicator. I like this. I definitely like the death recap widget. I think that helps people, understand why they got shot. A lot more. Nearby grenade indicator. Fades slightly when you're no longer in the direct line of sight of that grenade. Cool. Full screen, red damage. Yeah. Double kill streak override notice. It'll tell you both. When two things are called in, if they're called in simultaneously, it gives you a better notification. So I do like that. Death skull improvements. The death skull icon will be adjusted to scale more appropriate with the distance. Cool. I like that. So you know where it's at. Of course, they're adding the dirt bike. Adjusted the weight class from medium light to light. So everything one hits the helicopter, I feel like it already was one hitted. I guess it really helps with the thermites and the traps. Passenger view angles, you can look around more freedom, so that's nice. Rebalance the audio for the vehicles. And then there's some sticker. I don't know what the sticker book challenge is. Oh, the sticker book challenge updates. Okay, so these are in the light career. Okay, that makes sense. But they updated those. The Devastator has an armory challenge unlock. And they fixed a bunch of bugs with perks. Not really interested in that. This is a big issue because we had a problem with that. I didn't read these issues earlier. If you want to pause and read them now, you can. I kind of quickly read through everything earlier. But let me know what you guys think. It's kind of odd that they're leaving Rebirth out of this. I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like they've kind of let Rebirth go to the wayside since Verdansk came out. I know Verdansk brought a lot of people back, but I feel like casuals brought a lot of those people back. And I feel like they're splitting their community between casuals and regular. And if they were going to do that, they could have given us Rebirth ranked and regular Battle Royale ranked instead. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.